They thought you were gonna chase them, and now look who's checking for who. Page of Swords. What a beginning today. They genuinely thought you were going to be the one who came back first, and now something has shifted so much that they are the one checking for you, it seems. Page of Swords. What I'm seeing here is not just missing you energy, sorts of. There is a very specific reason they have suddenly become more curious about what you are doing. And later in the reading, I'm going to tell you what they are afraid you have already decided about them. Nine of Pentacles here. And there's another piece here that I think is going to surprise you because it explains why they have been so quiet. Is what I feel here. The Magician. Right now, if you may ask me, this connection feels like it has reached a very uncomfortable silence. Okay, there may have been separation, no contact, or a situation where one person expected the other one to eventually break, and honestly they may have believed you would because you have done that in the past. They may have thought, give it some time, they'll reach out, they'll wonder what I'm doing, they'll come back, is what they have been thinking. But you didn't play that role at all. That is the first thing that has changed. Okay, that is the first thing that has changed. Three 5 of Pentacles. Your energy feels much less available than it used to be. Okay, you may still care, but you are not showing the same sort of urgency, emergency, or that you want to reach out or something. You're not trying to force an answer. You're just, you're not making yourself constantly visible, all right, or seen. And this is where the contradiction also comes in. That's what I feel. They can look completely unbothered on the outside, while I feel internally becoming much more curious about you. 7 of Pentacles and 4 of Swords. There's almost this energy of why aren't they reacting and reaching out, and I'm getting tired of waiting, and that question has started bothering them more than they even expected. Because when someone is used to knowing they have your attention, your silence can suddenly become very, very loud. So, what are they actually thinking about when they are alone? Okay, the Page of Pentacles here. What are they really thinking about when they are alone? I am getting a lot of mental replay. Lot of mental replay. They are thinking that you have been always good to them, always caring, loving, abundant, always thinking about putting them first. They are remembering specific moments between you, especially something that was said, something that wasn't said, or a moment where they feel they could have handled things differently in their life. They may be wondering whether you are still emotionally attached to them, or have you just, moved on. But there's another thought underneath that, is what I see here. Okay. They're wondering whether someone else has your attention now. And that's interesting because I don't feel this is necessarily based on evidence. It feels more like their imagination is filling in the gaps because they don't know what's happening in your life anymore. They have been thinking, what is happening? What are you up to now? Late at night. They have been literally thinking. They may be checking indirectly, looking at what you post, noticing when you are online. Are you talking to someone else? Asking mutual people questions, excuses, or simply, finding excuses to see whether you are still there or not. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn is very strong here. But they don't want you to know how much they are paying attention right now to you. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. There's pride also involved, is what I see. They don't want to be the person who suddenly admits, I actually care more than I showed you, sorts of. And something else keeps coming through here. Okay, something else keeps coming through here, and something uh, they expected, you to reach out. They expected your silence to make you miss them. Instead, your silence has made them question whether they still have a place in your life or not. Okay, it has made them question. And there is, something interesting that I'm getting right now. Something interesting because I think they were counting on you remaining, emotionally predictable. They were actually counting on you. I feel that now they are very confused with what has really happened. They thought even if there was distance, okay, even if there was distance, the connection would still be sitting there waiting for them. But you have started detaching from that expectation, okay? Justice. They are actually getting their own karma, Libra energy, very strong. And that has created the twist, it seems. Justice coming up has created, oh my god, Ace of Cups and the Eight of Swords. They may not be chasing you yet in an obvious way, but they are starting to feel the possibility that you could actually move on without them. And they are so stuck on you. Their emotions are so bloody overflowing right now. It's so heightened right now. And that is what is unsettling them. And if this reading is describing your situation, tell me honestly in the comments, have you recently stopped checking for them or stopped trying to make this connection happen? Also, if you're enjoying this reading, make sure you are subscribed because I do deeper readings like this regularly. And if you are a channel member, you can get early access to selected readings before everyone else sees them. So become my YouTube member here as well. The joining thing is mentioned in the description box below itself. Now coming back to them, I was just listening to my intuition when for a few seconds I just was shut. I see there's something underneath this shift that matters. What they're hiding is not simply that they have feelings, because I also see that they are not able to move on as well. It's the amount of regret attached to those feelings. There's something they wish they had done differently in this connection, in their behavior. They may replay a conversation and think, why did I say that? Or why didn't I just tell them what I actually felt? But admitting that would mean admitting they contributed to the distance here. And that is difficult for them. Okay, that is difficult for them. There's also a quiet jealousy here. Not necessarily because they know you are with somebody else, but because they don't know what you're up to. Your life has become a question mark to them. And when somebody can no longer predict your availability, they sometimes start imagining possibilities they previously dismissed. That seems to be happening here. The person who once assumed you would wait is now wondering whether they waited too long. And your energy is very different, trust me. Your energy is very different. I don't feel that you necessarily stopped caring overnight. I don't see that. I feel you got tired of carrying the emotional weight of the situation, it seems. You're beginning to understand that Wanting someone and waiting indefinitely for them are two completely different stories and things. That is actually, that distinction is very important, because the more you stop trying to control the outcome here, the more noticeable your absence will become. Okay, you are not necessarily trying to make them jealous. No, you're not. I don't see that. You're simply not chasing them anymore either. And that is exactly why their attention seems to be turning back toward you. So, what happens next? The strongest possibility I am seeing is a gradual movement rather than some huge dramatic confession immediately. They could be an attempt to test the waters first. Something, a small message, a reaction, a casual question as well, an indirect way of finding out whether you are receptive, you will reply or not. And the energy feels like someone who wants contact but is still trying to protect their ego. I see that as well. I would pay attention to what they actually do rather than only what they say when they reach out, because this connection needs more than another emotional conversation. It needs consistency. And if this energy connects, and there is potential for the dynamic to shift because they are beginning to understand that your attention is no longer guaranteed, just comment down below I claim in the comment section and let me know, what do you think? Does this connects with you or not, and what is your story? Now let's come back to the two things I promised you in the beginning. First, why are they checking for you? Because your silence changed the entire balance here. They expected you to chase them, but your withdrawal forced them to wonder what they might lose. And what are they afraid you have decided? That you may finally be choosing yourself instead of waiting for them to make a decision here. That is the part they didn't expect. There is potential, no doubt, for communication and emotional movement here, but don't measure the connection by whether they suddenly appear or not. Measure it by whether their actions finally match what they say or what they feel. And if this reading resonated, guys, like the video and subscribe to my channel, because most of you don't subscribe, and so that you don't mix the next reading as well. And tell me one thing in the comments: if they reach out today, would you actually want them back, or would you need them to prove they have changed? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know from where you are watching, and in case if you are looking for a private reading, and if you can reach out to me one on one. And in case if you're looking, and if this reading resonates with you, and in case if you're looking for a spell work, because the full moon is just around the corner, um, and with lunar eclipse, so it is a very powerful day. So I would suggest, uh, you know in fact, I think it's today itself, right? So I would suggest the spell work that you can go for is, sorry guys, there's something stuck here. So the spell work that you can go for this particular reading is 21 days love combo, guys. And trust me, 3 days before and 3 days after, the energies are so strong. So it means that even if it is falling on 28th of August, 29th, 30th, and 1st, these 3 days are also going to be very powerful. So if you have missed booking that time, you can go ahead and book right now as well, because the potential is quite strong here because of lunar eclipse and full moon both falling together. Also, 21 days love combo, guys, trust me, you can check my reviews, you can go ahead, check my Instagram, the feedback, the spell feedback and all. Mwah. 75 to 85% of my clients have received such amazing results of this spell, and trust me, if my spells will not work for you, no one else's will. That's how strong it is. So go ahead, feel free. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp or Instagram to book your session and spell work both. I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.